What is going on, guys? It is Shinja here at Anime Expo. We are here sitting at the Grand Archive booth with Aldeus, or Alan, or what do you prefer? Alan, Aldeus?
You can call me by whatever. I
Doxy?
like to go by Alan just to keep it personal.
Uh,
So you guys can just call
yeah,
me
yeah.
by Alan.
But okay, so for those who don't know, he is Aldeus on Discord. And let's just start off with people who don't know. We already introduced your name, but introduce yourself. What do you do for GA?
So I guess for my title, I'm the current director of organized play. I'm also the director of R&D for GA. So any of the balancing and testing of like new sets, I do the testing personally, find the volunteers that want to help me test, and take care of all that.
Gotcha. Okay. So I pretty much have asked all the. Oh, I only have sample size of one currently. But what is your favorite anime wife? It has to be from an anime, so it can't be like Hololive.
Probably my favorite anime wife is Aragaki Aki. Aragaki Aki.
What is she from?
Masamune-kun. She's the tsundere girl with twin tails.
Oh my! The Masamune-kun's Revenge.
Yes.
Oh my, I haven't seen that show in so long.
It
has a season 2, I think.
It is getting a season 2.
But I was like, dude, Masamune was like a bajillion. I actually was surprised they got a season 2. I was like, it just came out of nowhere.
I was more a fan of like the manga, and I wasn't too much of a fan of the anime because they changed her hair color.
Okay.
She had like.
It went from black and white to colored.
Yeah. It went from, well, she was supposed to have like long like black hair, and they changed it to blue. And I was like, why?
Well, it was blue in the manga, but because the manga is black and white, you just didn't see it.
True.
That's
what I'll believe.
The copium.
She reminds me a lot of my girlfriend. She's also my girlfriend's favorite wife too.
Oh, really?
Yes.
In common, I see. Okay, cool. All right.
Maybe copium.
So we heard, I've talked to Roger Orsit, and we heard how he joined the GA team. Because you're part of the R&D and head of organized play, we're both really tired out. So this is a super jank interview.
It's been a long week.
Yeah. So how did you get your start with GA? Because I know, like, for example, it's like Sil is like the person who basically created it, right? He's like the mastermind. So how did you join?
I think I may have told this story like a few times before, but so Sil and I have been friends for over a decade. And we were going to locals one night, and he brought up the idea of GA, and we were playtesting it that night, and I enjoyed the game so much that I asked him. I asked him the next day. I was like, "Hey, do you want to go play?" And he thought I meant Magic. So, we spent a lot of time playtesting ideas, talking about things that come home really late.
Yeah.
From supposedly playing locals, but we were just playing GA at the time.
Okay.
And yeah, that's kind of like how I started GA, like with Silidar from the very beginning. We had been good friends for a long time, so it's just more of like, it came naturally because we just hang out all the time.
Yeah. Just like, when he introduced the idea of GA to you, was Grand Archive like the name already been like, this is the name of the game, or is it like, hey, it's more of like, hey, I have a card name or a card game idea, blah blah blah, and then like.
Yeah, it was more of like we just had like an idea, and it was like I had this idea for this resource system, and this really feels bad for like the games that we're playing, and then let's try this idea out, and we're just testing out some ideas. And this, when we came to what is now GA, we were like. It just was like an idea that like once we had played it, and like we just felt like this was the one. So it wasn't really like we didn't have the name GA at the time, or like Grand Archive. It was
more like I had an idea.
We knew it was going to be anime. We knew it was going to be like something that we liked, and that that's kind of how.
Gotcha. Okay. So my question, jumping kind of forward. So now you are the head of organized play. So I think the normal structure is pretty simple. Like, so there's like the store championships, there's regionals, nationals, whatever, right? But how did the idea of like Ascent come into mind? Like, did you take inspiration from somewhere else, or?
Yeah. So, well, we like GA itself is like accumulation of like our nostalgia and things that we wanted, and it's like really a selfish project in the end of the day, because we wanted to make something that we wanted to play and that we wanted to have. So. I think when it came to competitive like events, we were reminiscent of like some of our fond memories. So him and I traveled together a long time ago to like GP Dallas, and then playing in like the Grand Prix and having those events. Those are something that were like really memorable to us.
Yeah. So you wanted to like mimic something like that for other people.
So
Gotcha.
I think we had an idea that we wanted to also like have a lot of tournaments that players can compete in and have different types of tournaments. So it ended up, that's how we kind of ended up with like the Ascent, the current premier play line that we have. That's basically just stuff that we wanted.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so this question is also more selfish and more personal because we're hosting the regionals. So what's the difference between a regional and an Ascent? Because technically they are both a tournament, and like you both qualify for nationals if you win either or.
Yeah, the main difference is like Ascent is meant to be like a gathering of players from like all different types of regions. Like so for Houston Ascent, we have people coming in from Australia, New Zealand, people coming in from Asia and Europe, and it's just like it's meant to kind of travel. But regionals are for that region. So I mean, you kind of want in the grand scheme of things, we want not just like regionals. We want NorCal, Texas, Midwest, like the Northeast, Canada, all parts of Canada, all parts of Europe. Like something that you wouldn't feel bad like driving like a few hours to go play at for like a day.
Like you don't have to fly there.
Exactly.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
So if you wanted to travel to regionals, you could, but I think Ascent is meant to be more of like that sort of spectacle. Yeah.
Gotcha. So for anyone who, I mean, I'm sure everyone knows, but Ascent Houston is the very first Ascent. It's kind of now is a bajillion years ago, I feel like at this point. And I would like to congratulate you for instantly selling out basically a Path of Steel.
that was insane. I think in the span of like 15 minutes, we just ran out of Path of Steel tickets, and I was absolutely blown away.
Yeah, I know the VIP tickets literally sold out instantly. I think Sil mentioned it was like 20 to 25, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
Gone instantly. A lot of the middle tier was also gone pretty quickly, and then the Path of Steel was up for like maybe 15, 20 minutes, and then that was gone. So that was actually pretty. It's funny because like my gut was like, okay, you've been planning it for months, it's been announced for months, and all that stuff, so it should sell out. But I also in my heart was like, like selling out instantly, there's no way. So yeah, that's crazy. But biggest question, what can I do with my Sylvie coins?
You can use the Sylvie coins for the Sylvie machine. And the Sylvie machine will give you something for using the Sylvie coins.
Whoa! Yo, you heard it here first, guys. Whoa! Oh man. So this is related kind of to the Ascent and the whole like Premier Play structure, I think. But before Alter got announced, there was the Omni Decks, right?
Yeah.
So what, for those who don't know, if you want to enlighten them, like what is the Omni Decks, or what was the plan for Omni Decks?
Yeah, so the Omni Decks is like our own version of like an organized play application, right? So it's not going to be mobile in the beginning, but it'll be mobile friendly. But the goal of Omni Decks is a way for us to also get the data from organized play and distribute like different rewards, different like items that people who are supporting us to get, like making sure that the stores that are taking all the effort to host tournaments and stuff are getting taken care of.
Gotcha.
So I think it's a big part of like our organized play app at the local scene, and yeah, I think that's kind of like the vision with Omni Decks, and it's sort of like in the future we hope to scale it up and also really keep it like that. Add like a sort of like a ranked like system, because we grew up playing video games.
Right.
We have like Elo, you have like your ranking, your
yeah. I remember when I was researching the Omni Decks and I saw the rank system, I'm like, wow, this is kind of like League, because I came from League, right? Yeah. So it's like, wow, it's like you just play more and then you get better, and then you just kind of go up the ranks basically, right?
Something to kind of like reward you for your time. I think like a lot of maybe something to help you grow from just the local warrior to the regional warrior, and then the national, and and then just kind of keep and the world champion. Exactly. Yeah. And then it's also like we hope that it becomes really cool because you can see other players like rankings and know who's maybe the guy to ask at your locals, like who's the good player that's top in every every week, like what's he doing differently from you, who's maybe played the same deck,
Right.
He's piloting it with more.
Yeah, this guy's challenger basically, right?
Yeah,
It's like what's like I'm bronze, and this guy's challenger, but we're running the same deck. Like, what's going on, man? Like, player diff,
Player gap.
I don't know if you can say, but obviously Omni Decks isn't out yet. What is the status of the Omni Decks, if you can even say?
Yeah, I mean, I think the development of the Omni Decks is really good right now. I think we're making solid progress. So we're shooting for that FTC release, which is going to be in August 25th. I think we're making solid progress towards that deadline, and there hasn't been any major hiccups that I can think of.
No, knock on wood.
Knocking on wood that it all goes well. But
yeah.
I think that Omni Decks is looking pretty solid. At least for the start, I think it's going to be a great support to the local scene. Here's to hoping.
Yeah, fingers crossed, right?
Yeah.
I'm also excited for the Omni Decks because just based off of what you guys were intending for it to do and all the reward system, the rank system, I think that's pretty. At least I personally felt it was different, right? Because I come from Weiss, right? And Weiss is I just go to a regional, or I go to Springfest, or I go to Worlds if I win everything, right? So having an actual rank system to know, is this guy good? Is this guy bad? Or whatever. I think that's very interesting. So last question. What is Roger's favorite card?
Roger's favorite card
is,
I'm pretty sure it's still Flame Lab Subdued. Last time I asked him, it was she's still best girl.
Okay, but first edition or Alter, because they're different.
The first edition.
Okay.
I think without a doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt. Okay.
I'm pretty sure. So when we had the Alter edition, I also asked him, which one do you like more? And he was like,
first edition. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you, Alan, for doing this interview. I know it's day 4. They're closing down. We're super tired. So thank you for spending the time to interview. And for those of you at home, thank you guys for watching, and make sure you like and subscribe. And if you'd like to see more dev interviews, because I try to do a lot of them, hopefully I can grab everyone one day. One day I'll try to grab everyone. But if you want to see any more questions later on, please leave them in the comments below. And bye. See you later.
Check out Wenjimals.
Yeah, please.